Let me tell you something. Trading is tough. Very tough. Not everyone wins, okay? Futures trading involves substantial risk, tremendous risk, huge risk. And you can lose money, real money. Past performance doesn't mean anything about future results. Believe me, only trade what you could afford to lose. Do your own research. Get professional advice if you need it. This is for educational purposes only. We're just sharing ideas, not guarantees. Smart people manage risk. Great traders respect it. No members of DS Capital were harmed in the making of this video. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another weekly crude video. Today we're going to be discussing pretty much the scenarios for the week, what played out, and what I'm expecting. Rob isn't here for this video, but he did tell me that he will put the scenarios in the Discord. And if you guys aren't aware, the Discord is free as of now. So if you guys do want to join, there will be a link in the description, and I will put it in the comments as well. Right now, that's free to join, like I said. So if you guys do want, feel free to join. We're doing some live trading in there. Well, Rob's doing some live trading. He's on voice, and overall, I would say it's a good opportunity to see what it is, while it's still a free service. But besides that, let's take a look at what we've done last week. So last week, what we talked about, well, one of the scenarios was we said that we would watch. All right, I just had to quickly pause to get my Epic Pen to work. But what we talked about last week is we talked about this low volume area. Not sure that's the best color. Let's change that. We said that this low volume area was a possible area where the market could either test and, we could see a move higher. Now, I mean, they played out really well. It played out much better than we both expected. The market, let's do it on this chart. The market tested this low volume area, so we were able to test it. I believe this is Monday in the overnight session. And then we simply just trended higher throughout the entire week. Now, I want to say this did have some news backing it. There was a lot of geopolitical news. So, yes, we did test a key level, but part of the thing that drove prices higher was the fact that we did have news. So that's last week. And, taking a little bit more closely, like we opened over here, we opened around the 61s and then we closed way up here. Another thing to note is the fact that value has completely shifted higher, and this is pretty much a breakout to the upside just because we had 2 weeks ago, this is 2 weeks ago's range. This was uh, uh well, this is 3 weeks ago because we're coming into a new week. 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and this was pretty much an inside week configuration. And then we seen that breakout, and you can clearly see how well once it broke out from the 62.15s, the market came back, rechecked it, and then ultimately continued higher. Now, this did create a bit of a distribution, so it did find its sellers up here. So when we were trading higher, we were looking for sellers. Clearly, this was an area where sellers started to engage, and we were getting into a bit more two-way trade. We have this pretty big low volume area beneath us. It starts around 64s, goes down to, I want to say, 63.30s. This is going to be a key area that I am paying attention to. Also, taking a look at how this daily chart is set up. Daily chart, we have Friday, an inside day of Thursday. Thursday, the high looked a little bit interesting. So we attempted higher up to 66.47, and then we sort of just had this pretty big rotation lower before ultimately just going sideways. And then on Friday, it was really able to hold, that where that time frame shift occurred, which was around 65.99. The market held that area pretty well. But overall, we have an inside day configuration, Thursday with Friday. And so this sort of sets up kind of one of the scenarios pretty well. So scenario wise, let's take a look at that. Okay, so scenario wise, well, what do we have in front of us? First off, we have a very clear, we have a very clear distribution. This is the distribution low, and then this would be the distribution high. So, and these scenarios are in no particular order, but this is what I see, that could play out. To start, let's just start with the short scenario. The short scenario, it would be a look above and fail. So that could be this, the market opens, we check higher. So this is either going to test one of my reference points over here, which is this is a naked point of control, a weekly naked point of control at 67.04. It could either test that or it could simply just look above Friday's high. And then from here, it would literally just get smacked right back into the range. And then it would struggle to get back out. If this is the play, then what I would do is, or what I would think is, I would expect the market to trade the opposite edge of the balance. Now, targets, obviously we're gonna have our VPOC, so the prior weekly point of control as one of the targets. We're gonna look for value area low. I call this value area low just because this is a distribution, value area high, value area low, if that makes sense. Just sort of where the edge of this bulk is. If the market isn't able to find any buyers around this ledge, this low volume area, then we expect the RTH gap to be filled. This is filled around 63, 61. If still no buyers are present and like the market is unable to, continue higher, we do have a naked point of control right there at 63.20s it looks like, and then we also have a ledge, TPO ledge at 62.55. And the market could just start to accept over here. I mean, I really don't see it trading lower than that ledge. I mean, if it does, that would be a pretty substantial move. Like the fact that it went higher and then it would reverse it. I don't see it reversing this entire move, but maybe there's a possibility that it could have a look above and fail, and then we just trade the opposite edge of the balance, and then we may explore lower. That's the short scenario. Now, if we take a look at the long scenario, for the long scenario, I see two possibilities for it. The first being, the market just literally opens, it's able to break through Friday's range, and it just continues higher. Obviously, this is just sort of going with the whole theme that this weekly profile is a trend profile, so we can sort of see multi-distributions, value moving higher and value not overlapping, as well as gaps below us. So clearly buyers are in control. If that is the case, like if this is just to uh break through Friday's range, hold and continue, that's one possibility. And then targets to the upside, I'll show them a little bit, like I'll sort of zoom out and show it. But this naked point of control at 67.04, and then there's some price action structure on the daily chart right around 69 evens. That's one variation. The second variation of the long, which is the one I prefer if the long is to happen, is the market would just sort of move lower. We would start to stall right around this edge, right around this low volume area, or the value area low of the distribution, and then we would start to just trade higher. Now, immediate target is obviously just going to be the opposite edge of the balance, and then for upside, you know, prior weekly high, the negative point of control, and then the upper targets being that price action structure around the 69s. Those are my, I guess you could say, three scenarios. It's two, the long just has two variations of it, but those are my scenarios going into the week. Now, it is first of month, so something that Rob likes to say is that if there's a trend that develops, don't go against the trend. So that's just something to keep in mind. This is that naked point of control I am referencing. It's coming from this week. So this week is way back from, 726. Naked point of control is, 6706. And then beyond that, it's, the structure way back here is fairly thin. So I'm not sure how it would trade. I mean, that's not just something that we would sort of monitor as the days continue. And then that price action structure, the one I was referencing, if we just take a look at this daily chart, we have a little bit of this structure right there. It's sort of like where this massive break occurred, right around the 69. So that's the price action structure I am referring to. But I think that's all I have to cover for today. Like I said, Rob is going to post his scenarios in the Discord. So if you guys do want to hear what Rob's saying and also just want to be part of the community, join the Discord. Like I said, free to join. Well, free to join for now. And I believe that's all I got. I covered the long, I covered the short, and we talked about a little bit about the first of the month flows. And yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up over here. If you guys enjoyed it, like the video, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one. Take care.